hair hustler. This is what I do. I hustle, and I'm better than anything. This is my career. I own this. I don't let it control me, I control it. It is what it is, and people are gonna have their perception of me, whether you have it or not, Tourette's or not. My name is David Rossi. I'm 27, born and raised in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Been cutting hair for about 13 years now, and couldn't think of anything else to do with my life than this. This is what I love to do, and this is my art, my craft, and my trade. What sets me apart from other barbers that makes me special, actually very special, would be I have Tourette's syndrome. And I've learned to control it. When I know I can't control it, step back and come right back into it.
I had my son David, June 3rd, 1988. He was my firstborn, my dream come true. He was such a good boy. Pregnancy was easy. He grew up, he was a wonderful toddler, very cheerful. He was very warm and loving and very close to me always. Spent a lot of time as he got older before grammar school trying to prepare him with ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and writing his name and tracing, and he was prepared for school. And when he went to kindergarten, I noticed that everything that we had taught him, he forgot. I decided to have him evaluated. When I had David evaluated for a learning disability, the test came up that he had red flags for epilepsy. It wasn't as obvious that he had developed Tourette's syndrome until he hit about 7, and he started to twitch, a little twitch in his stomach. And he would come to me and, "Mommy, I can't stop moving." So I would rub his stomach and rub his back, and he would fall asleep and he would calm down and it would stop. As he progressed into the school year, now we're talking about 7, 8 years old, it started to get worse. He started to twitch constantly, twitching constantly to where I noticed that his stomach muscles were more developed. We went to various doctors and neurologists. He'd go for remediation, he'd go for extra tutoring. All of the doctors would say, "Oh no, it's just nervous. We can't find anything wrong with him. He's just nervous. He's a nervous child. He's a worrier. He's switching because he's nervous." I wasn't satisfied with that, so I went on the computer. I became convinced more that it was Tourette's syndrome. So I started to research Tourette's syndrome.
My mother once timed my ticks, and she timed them at spacing it from 5 to 7 seconds. I would tick out. wouldn't take as much when I'm cutting someone's hair, when I'm shaving somebody, as much as when I'm away from someone and I'm doing it regular. Really, at the end of the day, what I find most relaxing is when I have a straight razor to somebody's neck. Just shaving, cutting hair, and just getting my mind off of how I'm feeling is just like helps out a lot, and it takes a lot of the pressure away.
When David was in high school, after he seizured, when my grandmother passed away, I took him to the doctor, and the doctor decided to put him on medication. The medication was an antipsychotic, and it was Haldol. And it started out at a very low dosage, once a day. It didn't do anything, so I called the doctor, and the doctor said, okay, increase it morning and night. It still didn't do anything. David was still twitching. It slowed him down a lot, but it didn't stop his twitching. Lost his expression in his eyes. David was drooling, falling asleep at school. He'd come home from school and we'd sit down to eat, and he would sit there with his mouth open and his eyes kind of rolled back in his head, but he was present, but only physically. And I continued to give him the medication and was at odds with the doctor because I'm putting these pills in my kid's mouth that are doing nothing but slowing him down and making him not able to function and speak, and the light from his eyes, the expression and the light at it was just gone.
I didn't see myself as cute, good looking. I wasn't like, I didn't see myself popular, so I tried to, but it wasn't me. It was just like fitting a circle into a square. It wasn't gonna happen. The type of stares that I would get wouldn't be nice ones at all. I might be thinking different, like, wow, they're like making fun of me. Like they might like, spot like something, like a tick of mine, like they might have. I mean, for example, I'll pass by a group of girls and I think like, wow, they're really cute, but there's always that but. They might talk, they're like, they might notice my tics or whatever. After like a while now, it's just all my life, it's been a part of me. I'm used to it. Although you really never get used to it, you do get used to it.
At 14, he got his working papers. He wanted to work, but when he would go to McDonald's or Burger King, he would go to KFC, any of these fast food restaurants that kids would normally work in after school, he would get the job because he was very personable, very nice, very polite young man. Everyone liked him. When we would walk out the door, he would twitch. He'd go the next day to report, and all of a sudden the stories were, we made a mistake. There wasn't any opening. We made a mistake. And after about 4 times of going to places, I decided to let him work with me in the barbershop. He had a very creative nature. He was always an artist. He played music, he drew, and he felt more comfortable in the barbershop, creating, working, cutting hair. And he would come to work full time. He tried to do his GED classes, but being that he was 16, getting up at 7 in the morning to be at 7:45 classes. He didn't understand that if he was late, the doors closed, no exception. Now you're in the adult world. So he was dismissed from the GED program. So therefore, David became a full-time worker in my barbershop. And there is where he flourished. He started to cut hair, and now he became known as David, the kid that cuts really good hair and does designs, instead of David, the kid that twitches. Some of his close friends gave him a nickname called Twitch, which I was not too happy with. But they gave him that name and he embraced it because it was a term of endearment. And that slowly fell away because now he's David the Barber. I'm just proud of you to be as strong as you are, and you never let anybody get you down and stop you from what you're doing. And I love you, and I'm just very proud of you, and you'll see how many people you're gonna touch just by walking into work every day. And I love you, David. And I'm proud of you for being the way you are.
How we climb this high above the signal.